Right, we're going to start class. So today we're going to study quadratic functions. We and the quadratic equations, quadratic quadratic equations. Earlier we studied linear equations and linear functions, right? What are the linear equations? What are the linear functions? There's a difference in the concept. Okay, linear function usually is given by a formula. Like ax plus b, okay? But linear equations will be linear equation. Let's begin with the linear equation. Okay, linear equations are equations. The simplest form will be, the most general one would be like ax plus b equals cx plus d. Okay, something like that for the linear equations. And after simplify solution, x equals some number, right? So quadratic equations it involves squares, right? At the very beginning, it could be something like that: ax squared plus bx plus c, and on the right hand side also dx squared plus ex plus h, for example, something like that. We call the quadratic equations. It involves x squared. Okay. Now I want to talk about the first one, the simplest one. The simplest one, yeah, is going to be just x squared equals a. Okay, so that's the simplest one. Okay, we are given this. You are looking for x such that x squared equals a. Now, how do you solve it? Okay, and then there are two cases here because x squared never be negative, right? Could be zero because when zero squared zero. So the first case is if a is negative, then there's no solution. Okay, then no solution. You cannot find x such that square is going to be 8, right? Because square has never been negative. Okay, so for example, like x squared equals -2, it has no solution, right? The reason is you cannot find the number square is going to be negative. Square is always positive. So the second case is a is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, when a greater than or equal to 0, then you are going to have two solutions. First solution is called square root a. Another solution is negative square root a. It could be positive, could be negative. So in general, you get two solutions. And what is the definition of square root a? The definition of square root a is going to be the positive number whose square is going to be 8. Okay. So what is this number, right? This is the number, okay, the positive number. If a is not going to be, if a is not 0, right? If a is positive, this is a positive number whose square is 8. Okay. So for a greater than 0, the square of a is going to be the positive number. Now it has a geometric meaning of that. For example, like a square of 2, right? Square of 2 is a positive number whose square is going to be 2, right? So some number, we don't know the exact value, but then if you want to look at the, some numbers has a geometric meaning, like unit square. The diagonal is going to be the length of diagonal just square root 2. Okay, this comes from the Pythagorean theory. Okay, we studied before. Right, and the square root of 3 is harder to describe. Square root of 3, yeah, square root of 3 is also a number, but how can you describe square root of 3 using geometry picture? Okay, square root of 3, and square root of 4 is 2, right? Square root of 5. I can figure. Let's look at those numbers. Square root of 3 square is going to be 3, right? And how can I describe using the geometry picture? You use a cube, unit cube. Okay, the length of the diagonal here is 1, 1, 1. Inside the length of the diagonal is a square root 3. Okay, the reason is by the Pythagorean theory, you can describe it, using Pythagorean theorem. The length of the diagonal is going to be 3. It's actually 1 square plus 1 square plus 1 square. Okay, and square root of 5. Okay, is a positive number whose square is 5. How do you describe it? You can describe it in the following way. So this is a 2-unit square, and the length of the diagonal is a square of 5. And here's 2, here's 1, because 2 square is going to be right, and the 5 square is going to be 2 square plus 1. 5, sorry. So 5 is 2 square plus 1. That's why square root of 5 is going to be is going to be the length of this diagonal of this rectangle. Okay, so those are the, I just tell you, those numbers has a geometry meaning. Okay, you can always find out a picture to describe it. All right, so anyway, so if you have equations like, if you have equation x squared equals 7, then x is going to be plus minus square root 2. Don't forget there's a negative solution. Okay, so if you are given the equation like x squared minus equals 7, then it has 2 solutions. X is going to be plus minus square root 7. All right, so I'm going to modify the problem a little bit. How about x minus 1 square equals 7? All right, x squared minus 1 square equals 7. You can solve the problem in the same way. If x squared minus 1 square, you see, if you x minus 1 as 1 term, okay? So it looks like something square equals 7, so x minus 1 should be plus minus square of 7. Got it? Then you move 1 over to the right-hand side, you get 1 plus minus square of 7. So you get 2 solutions. One solution, x is going to be 1 plus square of 7. Another solution is x equals 1 minus square root of 7. So there are 2 solutions. Okay. Now, if I did not give you the form like x squared, x minus 1 square equals 7, how do you solve the problem? This is difficult, right? So x minus 1 square, I'm going to rewrite this equation and modify, then you cannot quickly solve the problem. And then you get x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 7, right? Then you move 7 over to the left-hand side, and 1 minus 7 is negative 6. So if you are given an equation like that, how do you solve it? That's right. Right? And based on what I showed to you, if I'm able to rewrite the equation into that form, you can solve it. So this is the idea we're going to learn today, how to solve a quadratic equation. Okay, so let's do the next problem, similar problem. X minus 2 squared equals 9, for example, right? Okay, and if it's already in this nice form, we can easily solve it, because x minus 2 is going to be plus minus square root 9. Square root 9 is going to be 3. So x minus 2 is going to be plus minus 3. So I move 2 to the right hand side. So 2 plus minus 3. Yeah. So it could be when you choose a positive sign, it's a 5. When you choose a negative sign, it's negative. So you have 2 solutions. The first solution is 5. The second solution is negative 1. All right. Now, if I express the equation in different form, I can multiply this out, right? X minus 2 squared will be x squared minus 4, x plus 4 equals 9, and x squared minus 4x minus 5 equals 0. If you are given an equation like that, right, at the very beginning, how do you solve it? Okay, how do we solve it? So that's a question. So solving the, if you are able to change the equation to the equation in above form, maybe we are able to solve it. So this is idea. Let's reverse the procedure. Okay, what I'm going to do is suppose, yeah, given x squared minus 4x minus 5 equals 0, right? How do you do that? I need a formula x plus minus k, okay, square is going to be x squared plus minus 2k x plus k squared, right? So in order to combine them into one square, right? So let's say here's 4x equals 5, right? So I only have two terms. I want to put them together as one square. What I'm going to do, I compare with this side. What I should do, I have to determine the value of the k. I think a k should be 2. Okay, if I choose 2, then a squared minus 4x plus 2 squared. I added 2 squared to the both sides. Okay, if I add 2 squared to the both sides, then 4 is 2 times 2. 2 times 2, k is 2, right? Then I get x minus 2 squared equals 9. And then you get back the original equation. This is called completing the square technique. Okay, completing the square. Okay, so this is the idea. This is one of the ideas to solve the equation. Completing the square. Okay, then you can solve it. X minus 2 plus minus square root 9. It's plus minus. Then you solve for x. Okay, you got two solutions. We're going to learn more methods later, but this is a confirm. Yeah, this is the idea. Complete square method we're going to learn first. Okay, because this will help us to even find the quadratic formula. Okay, so let's do the next problem. Solve x squared minus 6x. Okay, and yeah, minus. Let's just assume. Let's see. Yeah, 16 equals 0. Okay, so let's take a look at this problem. Okay. Step 1. X squared minus 6x equals 16. You move 16 to the right hand side. Next step is I have to add something square, right? To make the left hand side as a complete square. So what is that number? You should put that. Okay, remember x, right? X plus minus k squared is going to be x squared plus minus 2kx plus k squared. So what is k? You should choose. 2x should be 6. K should be equal to 3, right? Yeah. So this is so k for this particular problem should be 3. Then 2k is 6. Okay, so that's why x squared minus 6x plus 3 squared equals 16 plus 3 squared. Right. Then the right hand side is x minus 3 squared. The right hand side is 16 plus 9 was 25. Okay. Then this is a simple equation. X something square equals 25. So x minus 3 is going to be plus minus square root 25, which is 5. Okay. So x equals 3 plus minus 5. So you're going to have two solutions. The second one is negative. Yeah, this, yeah, completing the square. Now, next, we are going to practice on this. Okay, I'm going to ask you to solve the problem x minus 6x minus 1. Okay, equals 0. Can you do this problem? Okay, find the two solutions. Right, so right, the same idea. You have to figure it out. Yeah, what you have to put here, right? Something square. So that number will be half of the 6, which should be equal to 3 again, right? So you put 3 here, 3 here. Then side would be x minus 3 square, and then it will be 10, okay? All right, then x minus 3 is going to be plus minus square root of 10. This time you get irrational number, okay? You got two solutions. The first solution, second solution, 3 minus square root of 10, okay? So two solutions. Now, sometimes you don't have a solutions. Okay, for example, yeah, let me do a little bit different. Say, for example, if I put 3x here and plus, yeah, first of all, let's take a look at this first. Now, this time, the coefficient in front of x is not going to be an even number. Okay, so be careful when you completing the square. Okay, you have to add half of the number, which is going to be 3 over 2 square. 3 over 2 square. Okay, half of the number, right? Which is 3 over 2. Then the left hand side can combine to 3 over x plus 3 over 2 square. So right hand side is 9 over 4, and combine them, I get 5 over 4. Okay. So something square equals 5 over 4, then x plus 3 over 2 is plus minus square 5 over 4, which is square 5 over 2. Okay. So now what do you get? Well, you get, again, get two solutions. Okay, you can write the solution in one simple form. Okay. My next question, I really want you to do that. X plus x minus 1 equals 0. Okay, can you solve for x? What you get is you get a number called a golden number. This equation can be written in many different forms. Yeah, sometimes like equation is written in this form. Okay, if you both sides divide by x. Yeah, please work out this. Okay. Yeah, let's continue use the method of completed square to solve this problem. Right, completed square, the formula you have here is there are different ways to do, right? So another one is called x plus, you can write even half of k. Then you get x squared plus kx plus half of k squared, okay? Okay, this is another version of the formula. If you multiply this out, you get x squared plus kx plus half of k. So here, x squared plus x equals 1, right? Okay, so what do you have to put? K is going to be, if you use that formula, then you have to anyway divide by half, divide by 2, right? Then you can combine them, and this side will be, add them together, will be 5/2, right? 5/4. Okay. And then x plus 1/2 equals plus minus square 5/4, which is plus minus square 5/2. It's very similar to the above problems. And x equals negative 1/2 plus minus square 5/2. So you do get two strange numbers, and they are satisfying the above quadratic equation. All right, so we repeatedly doing this. Then how to get a formula? Suppose you are the first person, right? You work out, you figured out this, how to solve the problem. And can you get the general formula, right? If you get an equation like that, okay? Some of you say, oh, I remember, I have a so-called quadratic formula. But quadratic formula is not just, from nowhere. You probably can figure it out by yourself. Here's the idea, quadratic formula. You divide both sides. Suppose a is not going to be 0, otherwise it's not called the quadratic equation. So you get b over ax, c over a, right? Make it simpler. Then I'm going to repeat the same ideas, but to the very general equation. So I have negative c over a, right? So I'm going to add some term, square, to both sides. So the left-hand side can be make it as a square. Right? What is that term I can add? Put a question mark there. That will be half of the coefficient of x. So the term I have to add will be half of this formula. This is a negative c over a, right? Let me copy this. You see, when you solve many specific problems, quadratic equation, you can derive a formula by yourself. All right. So the left-hand side will be x plus b over 2a squared, right? Great. How about the right-hand side? The right-hand side, I'm going to write the positive part first. Minus ca. Okay. I can modify it together. So I get 4a squared. I put a 2a, 4a here. So b squared minus 4ac. So anyway, this is a number. So we're getting very close to the quadratic formula. Finally, we get solutions, right? X plus b over 2a is going to be plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac, 4a squared. Okay, now the denominator can be always taken out. The denominator can be just simply write 2a, okay? Because square root of 4 is 2 square, a squared, plus minus a. And there's plus minus sign there, so it's okay. Just assume a is positive. Don't worry about that. So finally, you get a quadratic formula, which is everybody knows that, right? So you should know how to get a quadratic formula. This is the idea, okay? So you have a formula It's called the quadratic formula. Sometimes they combine into one fraction. If you combine into one fraction, it's 2a negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac. Okay. So now let's go back to some problems. I got x squared minus 3x plus 3x minus 10 equals 0. We are given this equation. I can solve it using the method I learned called completing square. But I use the completing square to get a general formula, which is called the quadratic formula. But for this is a formula discovered by you, and maybe have a name on that. Okay, your name will be associated with it. So, but this is the older problem we already solved. But then in the real life, you have many new problems. You can try. Okay. All right. So what is okay? A is gonna be 1, B is gonna be 3, C is gonna be negative 10, right? So let's use a quadratic formula. It's 2a negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac. Okay? And one step, you get the answer. Okay? So you simplify it. Here's 9 plus 40, actually it's 49. Square 49 is going to be 7. Okay, so you got two solutions. I think you again looks like a fraction, but actually you end up with integer. The first solution, choose positive sign. Positive sign negative 3 plus 7 over 2. 4, it's 2 actually. Second one, negative 3 minus 7 over 2, which is negative 5. So you get two solutions, 2 and the negative 5. Okay? So it's a very powerful tool, the quadratic formula. You can use the quadratic formula to always solve. You can always solve the equation. Okay? Okay, let's take a look at another problem we did it, Yeah, it's x squared minus 2x minus 5 equals 0. Okay. Yeah, please, you can try this. Use the quadratic formula to find the solution. Okay, do you remember the quadratic formula? It's a b negative plus minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay, so a is going to be 1, b is going to be negative 2, c is going to be negative 5, right? So yeah, please use a formula to find it. Oh, there we got 1 plus minus square 6. Let me check, please. Right, so anyone? His answer? Kevin, you got, yeah. You got minus 1 plus minus square root of 6. Okay, so let's look at it. Okay, so the solution by the quadratic formula is 2 times 1 here. Negative b is positive. Negative 2 is positive 2. Plus minus b squared minus 4ac. Okay, then you simplify. Get 2 plus minus 4 plus 20. 24. 24 is 4 times 6. 4 times square, 4 times 6 is square, 4 times square of 6, which is 2 times square of 6. Then it's plus minus square of 6. So you get 2 solutions then. Okay. So use the quadratic formula. You can always solve the problem. Now, what happens if I change the problem a little bit? A plus 5 equals 0 instead minus 5. Okay, so you just go ahead to find the use the quadratic formula, right? You can solve it. So x is going to be 2a, everything's fine. Negative b is negative b is a negative 2. It's positive, and the plus minus b squared minus 4ac. What I get here is going to be 4 minus